Xander and Spike in some later ones. I like many of them. Welcome again, and I'm your host, Dr. Freako. So today I'm talking to you about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, created by Joss Whedon, based on a movie he also wrote a few years before. So the story of the program focuses on, it focuses on Buffy Summers, portrayed by Sarah Michelle Gellar. My face is all stretchy, because I'm a demon clown. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. So, anyway, she moves into a town called Sunnydale, a small town built above a hellmouth where demons fall through and attracts other supernatural beings. Not only does she fight vampires, but also kicks the asses of werewolves, demons, and other monsters. The first season focuses on her as a 60-year-old girl that has moved into the town, with her watcher, Rupert Giles, portrayed by British actor Anthony Head. Of course, he is her watcher and is also the school librarian. So, the show lasted 7 seasons. It starred, like I just said, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Anthony Head, David Boreanaz, James Masters, and who else? Oh yes, Alison Hannigan, and so much more other actors. Also Seth Green in some early seasons, but left because he was a werewolf and, he just couldn't handle himself being a werewolf, I guess. Anyway, as I keep telling you, every time there was an episode on, it was a different dilemma. It wasn't the constant same plot throughout the season like it usually is these days in American TV shows. But of course, there was a theme of it, but they would always pick it up later on in the season. It had many many villains like the Master, Spike, who eventually turns good again. It also has Angel, who was a part-time bad guy because he was a vampire with a soul, cursed by a gypsy. Spike eventually got his soul back too. Spoiler alert there. Anyway, we see it all. It's a great series full of action, teen drama, and comedy. Mainly comedy with Xander and Spike in some later ones. I like many of the seasons, but I have to say, probably my favorite season is season 4. That's just my personal opinion. Whether you like it or not, it's entirely up to you. But I'm sure you love Buffy the Vampire Slayer if you watched it back in the 90s. If you not, then I recommend it to you. It's like, instead of the beautiful blonde girl running from the monsters, it's the opposite way round. The beautiful woman is killing the monsters and they're running from her. It was a thing Joss Whedon thought of when he was thinking, why is it always the beautiful blonde who always dies? So he flipped it around and created what was one of the best horror TV action shows in recent years. And of course, over the seasons, Buffy has many love interests, including Angel, Spike, and was in a love triangle with those 2 vampires at one point. And who else? Oh yes, she had a few human lovers. Riley Finn, that's his name. Yes, it was quite enjoyable. She even gained a sister in the later seasons called Dawn, but we discovered that she wasn't really what she was made out to be. But yes, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it's an enjoyable series. It has good comedy elements, like I say, and many other elements and content such as teen drama. It applies to a lot of young people, mainly for young women, of course, as it's a show where the woman comes out on top. So, like it says in the series, the Slayer is the chosen one. Each generation, a new Slayer comes along to replace this old Slayer, and Buffy is the chosen one. We find out more of the backstory, of course, in the 1992 film with, I can't remember her name, and Donald Sutherland. It was meant to be like, the series was meant to follow on from that, but of course they had many different actors in that movie. But yes, I enjoyed the show. Of course, the show even gained a spin-off called Angel, which was more for the boys, where Angel gets his own show and goes to LA. Of course, Sunnydale is a fictional town, of course. And also, Buffy, even though it ended in 2002, it continued in comics, along with Angel, which had a cancellation, unfortunately, after 5 seasons. But Buffy still goes on in comic books, which, of course, is quite enjoyable. She spawned games, toys, even Funko Pops in the modern day era. Of course, the franchise has got many merchandises and many things, but since then, many have found it hard to find work after Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean, Anthony Head returned to England and became the Prime Minister in Little Britain, and also King Arthur's father in Merlin, and many other shows. Also, Alison Hannigan went on to play Lily in How I Met Your Mother. Sarah Michelle Gellar starred in The Grudge, the American remake, and was in it for a brief time in the sequel. But yes, it was a good series as it went on, and stuff. David Boreanaz as well. He had a series called Bones out. Of course, he played pretty much a similar character. A lot of the actors got typecast and ended up doing low-budget B-movies or something of that kind. The only ones that I have seen successful are Anthony Head, Alison Hannigan, and James Masters and David Boreanaz. I can't think of anything else Buffy that Sarah Michelle Gellar has been in, apart from the Scooby-Doo live-action movie and the Grudge reboots. She was also a Scream Queen, did a few slasher movies before her time as Buffy. Anyhow, yes, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I give Season 1, let's see. Season 1, I give it a good 4 stars out of 5. Season 2, a 3 and, probably, let's see. I'll give it 3 out of 5, because that's probably one of my least favourite seasons. Season 3, again, a 3 out of 5. Season 4, a 4.5 out of 5. Season 5, 4 out of 5. Season 6, a good, let's see, a good 3.5 out of 5. And Season 7, a good, let's see, 4.5 out of 5, I would say. But these are just my solo opinions. Not if you have to agree with them. Let me know what you think to the shows in the comment below. So, I think that has been it for this one. This is the last episode I'm doing before I go back to my dimension at the end of the month. I know, I felt like my time here is being brief and short. Ah, well, I should hopefully be returning in 2017. If Random Horror does well, Random Ross says he's going to make it a second channel. So hopefully I might be able to return in that 2017 if Random Horror should become its own channel, which I'm very confident it might be. Anyway, yes, I have been your host, Dr. Freako, and join Captain Skullhead next week for the last episode in the series. Goodbye! Yes. Don't forget to click down below to subscribe to the official Random Horror YouTube channel.